Okay, let's just jump right into it. If you're in sales, you know that every year feels like a new ball game. But 2026, it's shaping up to be a completely different beast. So we're going to break down exactly why the old rules just don't work anymore and lay out a new playbook designed to make this your best year ever. I mean, you gotta love this quote, right? It just cuts straight to the chase. A lot of the sales techniques we were all taught, the stuff that built legendary careers, aren't just getting a little old, they're becoming totally obsolete. So where did it all go so wrong? And let's be real here. Those high-pressure, always-be-closing tactics from back in the day, they weren't bad. In fact, they were perfect for their time. They were built for a specific type of customer living in a very different world. But that world, it's gone. Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. The buyer we used to sell to, the baby boomer, they were kind of raised to trust the process. They looked at the salesperson as the expert with all the answers. Today's main buyer, the millennial, is a complete 180. They are skeptical by nature. They absolutely hate feeling sold to. And this is the big one. They show up to the conversation already knowing almost everything. Look, this isn't just some small tweak in attitude. It's a massive, fundamental power shift. The entire dynamic, the whole relationship between buyer and seller, has been completely turned on its head. And if we don't get why, our old playbook is just doomed to fail. So let's paint a picture of this new buyer. They are the dominant force in the market, controlling most of the wealth. They want a real, authentic connection, not some fake rapport. And they hate conflict so much that instead of saying no, they'll just disappear. They'll ghost you. But the most important piece of this puzzle, the thing that changes the entire game, is that they arrive armed with all the information. And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? In the past, the salesperson held all the cards. We had the product knowledge, the pricing secrets, the process. We were the gatekeepers of information. Today, that is completely flipped. Thanks to the internet, the buyer has all the knowledge, and with that knowledge comes all the power. So here's the bottom line. Using those old-school, high-pressure moves on this new, empowered buyer doesn't just fall flat. It actively works against you. It triggers all their alarm bells, all their skepticism, and it makes them run for the hills. We need a new way, a smarter way. And that brings us to the solution, a total evolution in our thinking called the Neuroclose mindset. Now, this isn't about learning a few new tricks or clever lines. It's about fundamentally changing our entire goal, from closing a sale to inspiring a buy. So what on earth is Neuroclose? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like the movie Inception. It's about using stealth persuasion and some actual neuroscience, brain hacks really, to help the buyer reach the decision to buy all on their own. So it feels like it was their brilliant idea all along. It's not manipulation, it's facilitation. This quote absolutely nails the new mindset. Your role has changed. You're not a salesperson in the traditional sense anymore. You're more like an assistant buyer. You're a consultant, a trusted guide, there to help them navigate the sea of information they already have and make the best decision for them. Okay, so that's the big picture philosophy. But how does this actually work in the real world? Let's get practical and look at 3 game-changing shifts where the old playbook gets a major Neuroclose upgrade. First up, rapport. The old way, was to find some common ground. Talk about the weather, sports, try to become their friend. The thinking was that people buy from people they like. The Neuroclose way is way more subtle and, frankly, more powerful. It's about mirroring their energy, their pace of speech, their communication style. Why? Because the science shows us that people don't just buy from people they buy from people who are like them. It creates this deep subconscious feeling of comfort and trust. Next up, setting the agenda. We used to show up and immediately take control, right? Dictate how the whole meeting was going to go. Today, that just screams high-pressure sales pitch. The new approach is to co-create the agenda with them. Ask what they want to accomplish. And here is the absolute game changer. You have to make it completely safe for them to say no. When you take away that pressure, their defenses just melt away, and they start to see you as a helper, not a hunter. And finally, the big one, price. The old tactic of hiding the price until the big reveal at the end, it's dead. It just creates suspicion and anxiety. The Neuroclose way is to anchor the price early and be totally transparent. This taps into what neuroscience calls the grief cycle, that little bit of sticker shock we all feel. By getting the number out there early, you give their brain time to process it, get past it, and start focusing on the actual value. which, by the way, is how we naturally buy everything else in our lives. So, when you put this all together, what does it actually mean for you right now? It means it is time to consciously evolve your approach. And the good news is, this isn't about becoming a completely different person. It's about becoming a smarter, more modern, more effective version of the sales pro you already are. Here is your simple game plan. Step 1, acknowledge the old pitch is broken and just let it go. Step 2, truly understand and respect this new, empowered buyer. Step 3, shift your entire mindset from closing to inspiring. And finally, step 4, start putting these new tactics into practice, mirroring, co-creating, and anchoring that price early. And that's really the question I want to leave you with. The market, the technology, and most importantly, your buyers, they have already evolved. They've made the leap. The only question left is, will your sales process join them?